Choose rank! Advance has won! Lordaeron will be ours!
My king, we have her cornered.
Just a heads up that this video contains spoilers from the Battle for Azeroth pre-patch, the Battle for Lordaeron. You've been warned. So I did the video on the Battle for Teldrassil and talked a little bit of Faction Pride. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about Faction Pride and how I guess the Horde can kind of deal with that. But also we're just going to talk about what could and may happen. There's a lot of this dialogue here that isn't said who it's told by. Most of it's a no-brainer. We know exactly who's saying it, but some of the things are a little off. And we'll try and make a guess. But unfortunately, if I get something wrong, I apologize. It's going to happen. But anyway, let's get into the actual dialogue. Make haste, the war chief awaits. Yes, war chief. Then it's time to finish this once and for all. Saurfang, rally your troops. I will prepare the Azerite machine. So we're going to stop there for a second and talk about this Azerite machine. We already, on live, if you've completed Antorus, you will notice that the Alliance and the Horde are scrambling for this new stuff called Azerite. It'll be the basis of our armor in Battle for Azeroth, and also, apparently, for these new Azerite machines. Now, it's entirely possible that this Azerite machine is what brought down Teldrassil. It's something I didn't talk about in the last video, because we were just talking about the conflict itself. But now we can kind of go into, there's a little more confirmation of an Azerite machine, which I'm excited yet scared to see what it does. Champions, says Saurfang, your war chief commands you. It is time to take arms against the Alliance. Their numbers look strong, but we are stronger. We are the Horde. We conquer those who would bring us harm. Loktar Ogar. He continues on saying, soldiers of the Horde, your brothers and sisters lie wounded on the battlefield. There is no honor in this victory if we abandon our own. Slay them all, champions. Mark my words. King Anduin and his army did not come here for our amusement. They mean to destroy us. Show them no mercy, for they would show none in return. Which is a pretty cool, almost like Lord of the Rings kind of reference. That's what Aragorn said at, oh boy, it's been forever since I've seen Lord of the Rings. The Two Towers, the battle for Helm's Deep. Maybe? I think he says in Elvish. Anyway, let's continue. Maintain your honor, heroes. Luk Narash. So here you can see that Saurfang still holds true to his word that no matter how dire the battle, never forsake honor. And it goes on to, I guess maybe a goblin. Gas masks. Get your gas masks here. And if you're feeling sassy, you can pick up one of these backpacks and get to work. Hehehe. Meet with Lothamar. Quickly, do not fail me, Nathanos. I assume, says Sylvanas, and he replies with, I obey, my queen. It goes on down below. Forget the army, we could deal with them later. Blast the siege towers. Do not question me, Saurfang. We must draw their attention from the war machine so it can destroy the towers. Casualties are inevitable. Getting a little bit more into Sylvanas. Honor means nothing to a corpse, Saurfang, says Sylvanas. You have the luxury of underestimating death, but it is something with which I am intimately familiar. Maybe you don't care if your people die so long as it's honorable, but to me, this horde is worth saving. Anyone who disagrees does not deserve to stand among us. So die your warrior's death, High Overlord Saurfang. It means little to me. Perhaps I will raise your broken body to serve me once more. Or perhaps you'll have a chance to say hello to your son. Now to me, that's a low blow. You don't talk about Papa Saurfang's son like that. You just don't do it. And this is kind of where the divide is coming between the Horde. But we'll talk about all that later, because it gives me flashbacks to Miss Pandaria. Anyway, is the Undercity evacuated? Everybody, mobilize. Cut them off with the reserves. Do not let them pass. Saurfang, where the hell did you go? Soldiers of the Horde, the time has come. The Undercity is no longer safe for civilians. The war rages above, and dozens of spies have infested our city walls. It says here, the Alliance enemies, but I assume the "our" is a typo, are striking against this Undercity and seek to claim Lordaeron for their own. We have herded the cowards into the Mage District, and have secured the rest of the Undercity. I'm assuming maybe Gen says that? Not sure. Our mission is to flush out these worms out of hiding, eliminate them, and ensure our citizens are evacuated safely to Orgrimmar. Unless the Horde somehow herded the alliance into the Mage Tower, but I wouldn't exactly call them cowards. I don't know if that's, again, a miss in dialogue, but we don't know. Let's continue. Blight throwers. You're on the front line. You will create a line of blight between us and the army. Lordaeron, I want you to command our rangers from the flank. Position them on the rooftops. The pleasure is mine, Dark Lord. Ooh, Lordaeron's on board. I'm assuming after what happened with Illyria in the Nightborn opening, that he's kind of a little more drawn towards Sylvanas, but let's continue. Bane, gather the catapults in every apothecary you can find. Send them to the keep at once. Yes, Commander. Where is Saurfang? There is no time. We have but precious moments before we lose our terrain advantage. The choke point we create will funnel them through the side of the keep and thin their ranks. We will outnumber them 10 to 1 if we are out in the open. Understood. I will meet you as soon as I can. No. Lordaeron and I will handle the interlopers. I can't risk leaving the war chief unguarded. You are not to leave her side. How long are you expecting to hold them off? What is the war chief's strategy? It's better she tells you herself. Now go. The Alliance is on their last legs, champions. Our tactics have wiped out more than half of their soldiers. They cannot press their assault forever. Stay strong. Lordaeron belongs to the Forsaken. Do not back down, heroes. Assuming that was all from Sylvanas. And the last part, Jaina, Gen, help me with Nathanos and Lordaeron. Anduin says, Illyria, take the rest of our troops and focus on routing the army. Start with those archers on the rooftops. Lordaeron says this first line, and then Bane says the second. The Void Elves, their numbers are endless. We must have faith in the war chief, Lordaeron. So we don't get the ending, but I guess, spoilers, the Horde loses. She fires the weapon, levels the city. If the Horde can't have it, the Alliance can't have it either. It kind of becomes the runes now. Now, there's also another part that I assume we should talk about before I continue, and that's Saurfang. Saurfang, they keep saying, where's Saurfang? Yeah, but where's Saurfang? So no one really knows where Saurfang went, and this has speculated some people to believe that Saurfang told the Alliance, look, this isn't how we do things. You go, be you. But I don't think it was that at all. I think he was simply just captured. Because in the battle for Azeroth Alpha, there's a part where, again, not going to go into spoilers on that, but that he was captured in this battle. So, spoiler, towards this battle, Saurfang gets captured. Later, in Battle for Azeroth, in the questing area, he says, I wish to speak to the Boy King. So, Saurfang's going to have a couple words with him. That's fueled people to believe that he might be the wrench in Sylvanas' plan. It's hard to say. So, this is all retaliation, again, for Teldrassil. It's been confirmed that Teldrassil comes first, and that the Alliance is here to eliminate them and take Eastern Kingdoms, with the exception for Upper Quel'Thalas. You know, that's kind of behind a loading screen, I think they said, so we haven't found a way through that yet. The gnomes are working tirelessly to figure it out, but the poor guys keeps getting stuck on mountains. So this is a pretty cool cinematic. Now, this one isn't too much of Horde as bad guys, Alliance as bad guys. This is just a battle, and by the sounds of things, it's going to be a beautiful battle. I'm excited to see it in game. This is going to be, of course, the pre-patch. So this is going to be 8.0, which also apparently we're getting upright standing orcs. Don't know if they went back on that for the Draenor orcs. We'll talk about the Draenor orcs and what they mean for the allied races. We'll talk about that in another video. I'm here to give the Horde a little bit of... Just check my thought process on this. It sucks. I know, you're the bad guys again. But Saurfang has been proven to be more honorable. And I think that's where, if you play an orc, you should kind of stick with Saurfang. He knows what he's doing. Have him as the embodiment of the Horde. You know, if you're Blood Elf, follow Lordaeron. If you're Tarn, follow Bane. If you're Goblin, who cares? You're getting paid, okay? So, and if you're undead, you're going to follow the Banshee Queen no matter what she does. She could be completely evil, and you'll follow her no matter what. If I were an orc, which if they had orc druids, I'd probably be one, I would follow Saurfang. Because Saurfang has been not only one of the strongest, but the most honorable orcs. Nazgrim is another honorable orc who fought beside his war chief until the final, until his life ended. So even if you're thinking, well, I'm not undead, but I still don't want to fight for the war chief, that's okay. Just bide your time, kind of work, because this expansion is not going to be pure Alliance versus Horde. There's going to be some old god stuff mixed in there, There's going to be some other things mixed in there. I think the majority of it is going to be hopefully Horde versus Alliance. And I hope the ending of the expansion is the final battle between the Horde and the Alliance. And who knows, maybe this will create a whole new faction, one that we haven't seen before. That's entirely possible. But you also have to remember, there was someone who stood against a war chief he thought was a tyrant before. He fell, not because the war chief wanted to kill him, but because the war chief was duped into killing him, and that was Karen. So the Horde has stood up against their war chiefs before. Now it seems like, again, I said this in the last video, that Sylvanas they're going to try and correct what Garrosh was supposed to be in favor of Sylvanas. So, Garrosh ended up becoming a really bad person. He dabbled in old god stuff. And who knows, maybe Sylvanas will go down the same road if they offer her immortality. Who knows? But I think that this is their way of kind of correcting the mistakes of the past. So as far as this battle goes, I mean, the only things that stand out are the Azeroth machine, which we haven't seen, which I'm excited to see. Saurfang, the whole brother of Broxigar getting captured by the Alliance and put in their cell. I'm assuming maybe the Alliance didn't want to kill him. And some people say, well, that's because they couldn't. Well, if he's down on his knees, they could absolutely kill him. And if I put Gen against him, I think Gen would take it. Gen's already proven to be pretty powerful in not being able to die. But who knows? But there's really not too much to talk about. When I originally made this video, I talked about faction pride and how it sounds all bad. But when I take another look and I read this over again, I thought it's nothing really too bad. Teldrassil was the only thing where the Horde could be considered the bad guys. This is the Alliance pushing back, which I talked about in the last video as the faction pride of the Alliance is we're no longer going to be pushed around like this. And this is the last straw. You have Gen, you have Jaina, who are now going to do whatever they can, even though they didn't need much of a push. But hopefully, Saurfang can kind of be the wedge. He can kind of maybe bring the war chief back a little bit. But she's doing what she must. And the Loa, if it turns out to be an old god, it was right. And if it was a Loa, if it was an actual Loa, there's some things in Battle for Azeroth Alpha that kind of show that, well, we do need them. I think I talked about it in the last video. It's hard to kind of remember that because I deleted the video, so I can't exactly watch it. So, and again, this is my second recording of this because the first time I had to take a step back and kind of look at this a little more objectively. So hopefully this isn't too long, guys, but let me know what you think. Are you excited to see this? Are you still a little bit worried that the Alliance is just going to kind of be the bad guys again? It's not looking too much like that. I'm sure the Alliance is going to do something really shady too, because, it's a war, and shady things get done in war. On both sides, it always happens. Anyway, guys, next video is me talking about the Dreno Orcs, as I said, and what they mean for the Alliance, and could the Vrykruel become an allied race sooner than later? And how could they put that into the Alliance and the Horde? Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like the video. If you can, share it, subscribe. There's a whole bunch of YouTube stuff that I'm going to talk about in another video, but just it'll help me get my name out there a little bit. I appreciate you guys so much for what you've done, though. So thank you very much for that, and I will see you guys later.
Stand as one for the